This experience of being in a tiny house at first was about finding an affordable living option, but it's kind of become this practice in like slowing down and figuring out what's really important and what really matters in life. That's really been the most powerful part of this.
We had been together for 1 month when she proposed the idea of buying a tiny home and really investigating that lifestyle, which was completely new to me and a foreign concept. It did take me a little while to get on board, but again, that was the right decision.
It was a challenging experience. We both transitioned from larger spaces, so we had a lot of stuff collectively, and I think we were still on that journey of figuring out how to live with less.
That's very liberating. You know, that gives us a sense of freedom and autonomy over what we own.
So the house is 32 feet long by 8 feet wide, and it's about 360 square feet total. So this is our living room. We have a great couch from Article that actually was taken off the legs, and underneath we have storage, which includes a dining set for 6, so we can fold it out and have people over. There's also a ton of space for movement and yoga, because I am a yoga instructor and movement's just an important part of both of our lives. We had to create a lot of space for that, and I'm very tall, so there's full room for my limbs and space for that in our living area as well. So when I went to the builder and had inspiration for the tiny home, the design was actually really inspired by homes that I loved, which were all A-frames and mid-century modern mansions, which are completely impractical for tiny home design. But they were able to really make it work and had a vision for creating something that looked really interesting and different in a tiny space. So that's why there's this great window that gives lots of light in our living space and kind of gives you the illusion of being in an A-frame without actually having the full A-frame on the tiny house. The ceilings actually all have fur, as well as the floors are all fur as well. And there's in-floor radiant heating, which actually keeps our utility bills really low. Here's actually the workspace, so it does double duty as our kitchen worktop and a work from home space because I work from home. And this is all custom poured concrete. There's storage underneath here as well. So a lot of the lighting in here had to be pretty low profile because the spaces are really tight. And then it just flows nicely into the kitchen space. So here we have our front hall closet and cabinetry. It's actually made of walnut, which again kind of comes from that mid-century modern inspired design in the house, which we think is beautiful. And this is our front hall closet, which is quite ingenious. Here we have our clothing storage, and we also have our cabinets for glassware and plates and dishes, and it also disguises the wheel well, so you can't actually tell when you're in here that the house is on wheels. Then we have our 24-inch range. It works pretty nicely. You can still fit in a normal sized cookie tray or baking sheet. And we have tons of storage for all of our dry goods in here, and our microwave acts as the range hood. And then we have, again, more storage throughout the house and for everything that we need. We have an apartment sized fridge here as well. And even more hidden kitchen storage actually is in the stairs. So all of our kitchen utensils are actually hidden in many of these drawers that you see here in the left-right staircase, which did take some getting used to start off with. It's like a bit of a brain teaser, but is pretty easy. Once you get used to it, just walk left and right. And it takes up a lot less space. So from here, I think it's probably one of the more unique parts of the house is our micro gym. One thing that I had before I started living tiny that I wanted to preserve, but thought I wasn't going to be able to, was a Peloton bike. So that actually was built into the home, and there's space for the Peloton bike here in the micro gym. So we have the Peloton bike as well as some weights, yoga bolsters as well for yoga practice. So we're pretty grateful that we have this space that we can still find room for movement even in a really, really tight space. And there's actually a coffer in the ceiling so you can stand up while you're riding the bike.
We also have closet space here as well. So these two doors open. This is all of our sweaters, our outdoor hats, and then we do have some more jackets on this side. So this is what heats our space, and this is through propane. And then we have one more closet in here, and that's our electrical, and then some more storage for yoga accessories and some other fitness stuff as well. So then just coming right into our washroom through the door. It's very bright, and also it's finished with the walnut as well as that concrete from the kitchen. We did put on a frosted glass window, and then as well we have our dual washer dryer combo, and that's used quite a bit. And then some more storage over the toilet, which has our stuff like makeup and toothpaste. So we're gonna go upstairs and take you to the bedroom. Just the right left stairs. And then this is a queen size bed up here with some backlighting that was put in, which is really helpful. We do a lot of reading. And then we have a drawer for some clothes, and then these 4 drawers are also have all of our clothes in them. They're really deep storage. Having 2 females in the house makes it tricky, but we've made it work really well. And then we have just our little library, and then this then is the top of the coffer from downstairs.
The house is actually all fitted with RV connections because we, towards the end of the build process, recognized that we're going to be in an RV park. So it has 30 amp RV hookups. We just plug it into a pedestal and we are good to go. It also has RV flush toilets, so it just hooks up to a normal RV sewer. The house is actually heated with propane, and that connects to the combi boiler, which gives us our on-demand hot water, as well as our in-floor radiant heating. So our home was built by Fritz Tiny Homes in Edmonton, Alberta. I came across them just because I was pinning different tiny homes and really loved their first build. They had asked me to send over a lot of design inspiration. So I think what I loved was like that challenge of thinking about design, not by what's been done before, but kind of pushing it into something that like really reflects my love of design and architecture into this really small space. And it feels perfect for us, and it feels really inspiring to be in here.
So in a very dramatic, short amount of time, we decided to move to BC, which meant getting rid of all our stuff. It was shocking how much stuff I had accumulated and just not really given it much thought of actually, do I use this every day? And the emotions attached to that stuff, the memories, but we can take a picture of it and it still will invoke the same memory. I don't need to have the tangible item. It certainly changed my life, the way that I look at things I buy and things I consume. It became, an almost full-time job to find parking. And it was a lot of hopeful leads that led into a lot of disappointment and questioning, are we doing the right thing? Are we gonna even have a spot? We ran into the problem of like nothing was really going to be the right fit for us. It was going to be really expensive, or it wasn't gonna be in a location where we could still access employment. And luckily we landed a place where we could really be able to hike, be outdoors 12 months out of the year. So it truly is paradise for us. I didn't imagine that I'd be living in an RV park, but luckily it's zoned to allow tiny homes. And to be honest, the sense of community that we've gotten from being around our neighbors has been really important. And it's a factor that we did not even really consider when we were looking at different parking places. And now looking back on it, I'm actually really, really happy that it ended up this way. So because we live in a tiny home, it's a novelty, like any small space. And even in an RV park, there's a lot of people that continue to stop in front of it, beside it, filming it, taking pictures, and they don't really understand that we're just in here living our life. So we did some research and we decided to do this window treatment, this privacy film that is on all of the windows. So during the day especially, we can see out, but people can't see in. So in our spare time, we're getting excited to start sharing just our journey living in a small home, what that's been like for us, maybe some of the realities. I'm gonna be sharing that on a YouTube channel, The Curated Life. And then we're converting our Honda Element into a camper so we can actually go out and explore. I am very grateful the Fritzes built this house for us, and it's so customized for really specific parts of our life, because I think if it wasn't designed for us, I would say it would not have been a forever situation. And even coming into this, I think we were thinking of it as
this is a in-between interim solution until the housing market changes, or until we find something more permanent. But now that we're here, it's just become so obvious that we don't want to be in a bigger house, and that this is a sustainable situation for us for at least the foreseeable future. And it's so much easier to live tiny than I thought. Like, I thought that it'd be really hard to not have my stuff, and I thought that it'd be really hard to not have a lot of storage, and have to think about everything I'm purchasing, and it's not. So that's been kind of freeing and maybe a different perspective than I had coming into it.
And coming from someone who is completely resistant, completely skeptical, I love this space, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. You know, less is truly more, and it's given me so much fulfillment.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and check out our playlists for more stories like this. You can also follow Elyse and Ashleigh on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for watching.